Yeah, so this is the last topic, async programming. What is asynchronous programming? Can anyone tell me? Asynchronous programming. Hello?
All the things will exhibit in a async manner rather than sequential manner.
Async manner rather than what?
Synchronized manner, basically. One function will exhibit up to another. It's not
Huh?
it can exhibit parallel.
Okay. Okay. Now is kind of correct, but few things needs to be added in the explanation. So whenever you talk about async programming, so let's create something now. Day 58. So we have completed more than 60 lectures actually. readme.md. Now asynchronous programming. I will write some code, a new app.01.ts, not ts, it's JS, JavaScript. Console.log starting, then end, start, end, and set timeout. And here I can say console.log middle and 1000 this thing. See what you have done. And here I can say 0. What is happening? Say 1000 millisecond means after 1 second this function would be getting invoked. Set timeout is a built-in function in JavaScript. Set timeout is built-in function in JavaScript. So this is the function you have passed as a first parameter. And after 1000 millisecond, that is 1 second, after 1000 millisecond, that is 1 second, this function would be getting executed. Okay. Now if I run the code, node app01.js, can you predict the output? Start, end, and middle, like that. What about others? What about others? Same. Okay, run the code and see. Start, end, and middle. Can you see? It is waiting. Execution is waiting. Because this is not going to get invoked immediately. This is getting invoked in the future. For better understanding, I'll make it 2000 milliseconds. That is 2 seconds. And see, start at, it will wait 2 seconds and then middle would be getting executed. Means completion of this is not immediate. It will be processed but not executed immediately. immediately. Pardon me for the spellings. So set timeout. This thing will be processed, but it will not executed immediately. It will executed in the future. But meanwhile, the end 1, like that, end 2, end 3, end 4. So all these lines are getting executed meanwhile. Can you see? So this line would be getting executed. This line would be processed. The working is going on, but not executed immediately. Here, end 1, 2, 3, 4, all these lines are getting executed, but still processing is going on, right? And we can write a for loop here, or let's make 1 second and run it. And let's write a for loop. Let I is equals to 0, I is less than 100, I plus plus, and ending, and run it. Let's reduce the time more, 300 milliseconds. So all these things are getting executed. Presently we cannot create the scenario, but this middle can be executed anywhere during the other operations, here, anywhere. So processing has been start over here. Let's make 100 milliseconds. If you see this thing, there is one more concern over here, which is raising. What I mean to say, so this is one processing here you have started. This is the processing which is happening in parallel. The processing is happening, but it is not getting executed immediately. Something is getting processed. Meanwhile, this is also getting processed. 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 But this is under the execution. Under processing is going on. While executing this line, processing for this line is continuous. That is getting executed. So while executing these two lines, processing for this is running. Or while executing this for loop, processing for this is running. Which means that these tasks are happening. This task is also happening simultaneously. Okay, async programming. Now consider that this is your execution line. Normally things are getting executed here. So this is your console.log executed here, console.log executed here, here also it is executed, here also it is executed, here also it is executed. And suddenly what happens, you have written one code, go to the Facebook and come back with some data, right? So this much part is not immediate, because going to the Facebook and coming back will take some time. But meanwhile, your execution line, all these things are getting executed on the execution line. And whenever you get the data from the Facebook, right, after 3 seconds or 2 seconds, right? So whatever processing result is there, that can be popped up here. But actually, processing has been started over here. And after some time, you are getting what? Results. But meanwhile, your operation to all these has not been stopped. They are working in parallel. They are working in what? Parallel. Okay, let's write another code. App. Very important question. Very important concept. So set timeout presently we will use. Set timeout means what? Call this function after given timeout. I can say console.log, say connecting to FB, and just simulation we are creating. It will take, so this function would be getting executed. Remember that set timeout is a function, and this is a function as a parameter to that function, and this function would be getting executed after 2000 milliseconds. So here we can say connecting or db or image processing. So for image processing it will take 3000, and here we can say text processing. For text processing we need 2500 milliseconds. Now see, all these tasks are running parallelly. So here we can say console.log. So just simulation we are creating. Simulation we are or connecting to FB, right? Processing image, and here I can say processing text. So text processing completed, image processing completed, and connected to FB. Now node app02.js. Can you see connecting to Facebook? Now see here, connecting to Facebook, processing image, processing text. Now first you will get this output connected to the FB, then you will get text processing completed, and then you will get image processing completed. Means things are running parallel, and meanwhile or whatever code you are going to write below, that code will also getting executed, and meanwhile these things would be getting completed. Hello, are you understanding this?
Yes.
Is that clear?
Yes.
What is, if someone asks you what is asynchronous programming, what do you call it as?
So basically, it will not wait for the other process to complete.
Mm-hmm.
It will continue the execution of the next inline process.
Okay, anyone else? Hello, is that clear? Yeah. Now, this is about a basics of asynchronous programming. Let us see now a theoretical thing. What is asynchronous programming? Yeah. So when you talk about asynchronous programming, where is Notion? When you talk about asynchronous programming, basics. So synchronous code execution flow. In synchronous code, the execution happens in a sequential and the blocking manner. Each operation is executed one after other. Each operation is executed one after other. And the program waits for each operation to complete before moving to the next code. Means, so JavaScript waits to execute this line, and then JavaScript goes to this line. Now consider that this is just for, in this code, it is just iteration of the 5 times. It is iterating 5 times. But connecting to the database, connecting to the Facebook, connecting to the GitHub actually take time. So this line would be getting suspended until this code gets completed. So JavaScript suspends the execution of the program until this code gets executed, right? That is called as blocking. So blocking in nature. Synchronous code is blocking, meaning that each operation must complete before the next one can start. If one operation takes a long time to finish, for example, network request or file read, the entire program will be held up until operation completes. For example, this I just have given. Now, what is asynchronous code? In asynchronous code, operations don't necessarily complete in the order they have written. See, first we have written this, then we have written this, then we have written this. But if you look at the output, connected to Facebook, this has executed first. Then text processing, this has executed. And then this has executed. And then what? This has executed. That's what this. In the synchronous code, operations don't necessarily complete in order they are written. Instead of waiting for each operation to finish, the program can continue with other tasks while waiting for certain operations to complete. Right? Non-blocking in nature. In this code, it will execute this code first, then immediately execute this code, and then execute this code. Asynchronous code is a non-blocking, meaning that program doesn't stop and wait for an operation to finish before moving on. Asynchronous operation typically involves callback, promise, or async await, allowing the program to handle the multiple tasks concurrently. This is a live example. You want to connect to the database or FB, sorry. You want to connect to the Facebook. In the same operation, you need to do the text processing. In the same project, you need to do image processing. You cannot write simultaneous task, means first connect to the Facebook, then process the image, then process the text. You cannot do in this way. This can be done asynchronously. Connecting to Facebook is a separate task. This shouldn't be dependent on the processing image. This shouldn't be dependent on this. There are some scenarios where dependency is there and it is required. But in this scenario, it is totally asynchronous in nature. Right? It is totally asynchronous in nature. Hello? Am I audible? Hello?
Yes.
This is the asynchronous. So mark this very perfectly in your head. What is asynchronous? Synchronous code? This is the synchronous code. JavaScript will wait to execute this code until this code gets completed. Until this gets completed, this line won't be getting executed. Synchronous, right? And this is totally independent. This can be executed anytime. This can be executed anytime. This can be executed anytime. Asynchronous, right? Hello? Now, so what are the common asynchronous operations? Network requests, timers, and user events, means button click and other thing. We will see that later on. So
Do we have to enable it from somewhere? Or
no,
it's
no,
like
no.
by default enabled?
It's by default there. You don't need to do anything. You don't need to do absolutely anything. Now, when you talk about asynchronous programming, there are key concepts of asynchronous programming. Here you can see key concepts in asynchronous JavaScript. Sorry. Why? Just a minute. Key concepts in asynchronous JavaScript. Event loop and callbacks. Event loop. Now, what is the event loop? JavaScript has an event loop that continuously monitors for the events. JavaScript has an event loop that continuously monitors for the events like user interaction, network responses. When an event occurs, event loop pushes a corresponding callback function onto the call stack. When event occurs, the event loop pushes the corresponding callback function onto the call stack. The call stack executes the function. At first in first out manner, FIFO manner. So this is a very important concept if you are preparing for the interviews. Whenever you go to the interview, kindly focus on these things, especially people who are there for the Node.js also. Node.js, you'll get a definitely this question, event loop. What do you mean by event loop and callback? Let us see what do you mean by callback. So functions, see now, the functions Definition of a callback: functions passed as an argument to the other function are called as callback. Can you see? Function that is passed as an argument to the other function. A function that is passed as an argument to the other function is called as callback. This is a callback function. Callback function means what? When event occurred, at that time this function would be getting called. When event occurs, at that time this function gets called. What I am saying, when event, this function is not going to call immediately, but this function would be getting called at that time when some event occurs, right? And that's why it is called as callback function. In the asynchronous programming, callbacks are used to specify what code should run when means event happens, when an asynchronous operation finishes. Functions passed as an argument to the other functions are called callbacks. In asynchronous programming, callbacks are used to specify what code should run when an asynchronous operation finishes. When the asynchronous operation completes, when the asynchronous operation completes, the relevant callback function is placed on the call stack for execution. These two concepts are very important. Callback is a mechanism, it's a loop that continuously monitors for the events. When event occurs, event loop pushes the corresponding callback function to the call stack. Now we can visualize this. So JavaScript event loop visualizer. So let's try to visualize the event loop. So this is one of the code we have. Now here I can say call stack. Now see, this is the function. Can you see? The first function has been called. Inside first, second has been called. Inside second, third has been called. Inside third, fourth has been called. Inside fourth, fifth, and like this. Now if you run it, see what happens. Can you see? Evaluate the script, synchronously execute the script as it a function body. Can you see? Here is the step button. You can call step. Can you see on the call stack? Things are getting added like this.
So I believe which screen are you showing?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, over here, let's select a call stack. Can you see here, call stack? This is the event loop. Evaluate a script, run a task, run all micro tasks, and the render. Okay. Now if you look at this, this is the first function. This is the second function. Second function is calling third. Third function is calling fourth. Fourth function is calling fifth. Fifth is calling sixth. Sixth is calling, and so on. Now if you run it over here, and I can just click on the step. Can you see? Evaluate the script. It has evaluated the script. Step. Can you see? First has been called over here. This is the first. If you click again, can you see on the call stack, second has been pushed. First executed, second has been pushed. Third has been pushed. Fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th. And see, now it is getting removed from the call stack like this. Run all the tasks, run all micro tasks, render the UI. So after this, whatever UI rendering is happening, that is going to happen. Now here, another a task queue. Yeah, set timeout functions. Now see, the same code we have written. Now if you run it, okay, now just click on the step. Can you see task queue A? This is the A. Now step it B. Can you see set time? Because of this set timeout, these functions are added in a queue. These functions are added in a queue. Where is that? Yeah, here, FIFO manner. The call stack executes the functions one at a time in a FIFO manner. That is okay. But if you see, C has been added. Now D has been added because this is not a sync task, or not it is going to work on what? Queue. This is normal task. That's why it is added to the call stack. Step. Now see, run a task. Now this task would be getting executed. C would be added to the call stack. From the queue, C would be added to the call stack, executed. Again, B would be added to the call stack, then run all micro tasks and the render. See now? Then A would be added to the call stack and then executed. This is the callback. All these are the callbacks. Function passed as an argument. These are the callbacks. Right? Tasks versus micro tasks. Okay, you don't know promise. That's why we will see that tomorrow. What exactly this is. This is task queue we have seen. So let's paste this app over here, and here you can say you can visualize event loop call out. You can event loop here. Okay, JS visualizer. The method calls are pushed on the stack. Correct? Hello? Hello? Am I audible?
Yes.
Now, what you can do, you can revise this concept of event loop and callback. I'll push this much code. I don't want to burden it because these concepts are heavy. Event loop and callbacks. Just try it. Just go to this website and try the things, what is happening. And tomorrow we will see advanced concept. One more, 3 sessions would be required for this. Tomorrow I will start promises and then. What do you mean by exactly promises and then? Okay. Hello?
Sure.
Yeah, we'll meet tomorrow.
Yes, thank you.
Yes, thank you.